My son made his sister cry on her birthday, and it was the proudest moment of my life. I've never been prouder of my son than the day he made his sister cry on her birthday. Not because he was cruel, but because no one in that room expected what he was about to do, including me. When my son was 11, his school bus was hit at an intersection. The impact snapped his head forward so violently that his throat was damaged. The doctors were calm but honest. He'd survive. He'd recover. But there was a chance he might never speak again. For a kid who barely liked attention, losing his voice felt like losing a part of himself. He adapted fast, though, learned to nod, to smile, to text. He became a master of listening. And his little sister never stopped talking. She talked enough for both of them. She'd sit on his bed and tell him everything: school drama, her favorite songs, who annoyed her that week. He'd listen, give her a thumbs up, tap out a reply on his phone. Most days, that was enough for her. Until one afternoon when she came home from school in tears. She ran straight to his room, crawled onto his bed, and poured her heart out. When she finished, he wrapped an arm around her shoulders and patted her back like he always did. She leaned in close and whispered something I don't think she meant anyone else to hear. "I just wish you could tell me it's going to be okay." After that, my son changed. He started spending more time alone in his room. When I checked on him, he'd be under the covers, pretending to sleep. I figured he was exhausted. Therapy, practice, growing up too fast. I didn't realize he was working on something. Then came his sister's birthday. Family filled the living room, cake on the table, candles lit, everyone clapping as she made her wish and blew them out. Right after the applause died down, my son raised his hand. The room went quiet. That gesture used to mean something was wrong. My stomach tightened. I looked at him, ready to step in. He took a deep breath. His face went red. His jaw tightened like he was lifting something heavy. And then, in a voice that sounded raw and fragile but unmistakably real, he said, "Happy birthday." His sister froze. Then her face crumpled, and she burst into tears. So did I. She threw herself at him, wrapping her arms around his neck, laughing and crying at the same time. "You talked," she kept saying. "You really talked." That's when it hit me. All those nights alone. All those hours behind a closed door. He hadn't been sleeping. He'd been practicing. Forcing sound through pain. Pushing past frustration. All for one moment. For her, his voice wasn't strong. It cracked. But his eyes were brighter than I'd seen since before the accident. Because for the first time in a long time, he wasn't just the kid who listened quietly in the background. He was heard. And I don't think I'll ever be prouder than I was in that moment.